Good evening. I welcome our audience and our viewers to this IAI3 EduTalk session. And I also welcome our guest for this evening, Dr. Rajat Sinha. Thank you for coming, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Most welcome. And first of all, thank you for having me on this platform. It is indeed a great privilege and opportunity. I much appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And I welcome our president, Dr. Neeta Parate, IAI3 president, and I'm going to hand over the meeting to her for a while so that she can speak to all of us about IAI3. Dr. Neeta, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Anjali ji, for your warm welcome. And again, I would like to welcome Rajat sir for today's EduTalk.
Thank you very much.
Again, talking about IAI3, so everyone knows it's International Association of Industry Institute Interface. Now, name is self-explanatory that we are trying to bridge the gap between industry and academics. So initially, we ran so many knowledge sharing session under IAI3, wherein every week we used to project a few of the issues or whatever kind of gaps generally we have. Like theoretical learning is more in Indian education system and very less practical knowledge, and that's why people are actually not getting their satisfied job or whatever kind of career they are expecting. And just fulfilling these kind of gaps, actually initially we were started with knowledge sharing session. Then along with that, under IAI3, we have monthly e-bulletin. Now here we are promoting research or whatever upcoming trends are there under education, academics, learning and development, all these fields, whatever trending and upcoming topics are there. So we invite papers for these kind of new inventions, and we publish every month e-bulletin. So these were two initial whatever kind of activities we have done very regularly under IAI3 from last 2-3 years. And recently we have started this platform, that is EduTalk. Now EduTalk के hero आपके सामने है, hero and heroine. Actually she has taken it like anything. She is so graceful and so dynamic. Actually she take it like every week she come up with very dynamic guests and wonderful celebrities also she has brought on this platform. So basically what we aim here is whatever untold stories are there along with the successful people, actually we would like to share those stories with our viewers and audience. And actually we should know each other, we should connect with them also, because yeah, there are so many heroes. We know celebrities, we know politician, we know academics, but those who are actually doing lot many things in their life for society, for you may say whatever kind of contribution, positive contribution they are giving towards society, so that work should also get project. So that is what is the basic aim behind EduTalk, and every week we are actually inviting guests. And today we are having with us Rajat Sinha ji, such a nice person, and today we are actually going to interview him to know how he is contributing and what kind of success stories he is having behind his whatever kind of person today he is in his life. So this was a short introduction about IAI3 EduTalk and different activities under IAI3. Now I would like to just hand over it to Anjali ji. Thank you, Anjali ji and Rajat ji. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. So folks, I'm Anjali Sangvi. I'm a soft skills trainer and I am a member with IAI3. And I am your host for this evening. Now, it is a profound and a very deep honor for me to introduce to you Dr. Rajat Sinha. Dr. Rajat Sinha, he has been through the medical profession. When he started his life's journey, he had qualified and he got educated in one of India's premier medical colleges. After that, he worked as a doctor for some time. And then suddenly, an upsurge of energy hit him in his thoughts. And there was a 360 degrees paradigm shift in how he thought. He wanted something more rewarding from life, something that used all his faculties. And so one day he just gave it all up. And then he went into in-depth studies of sales psychology, marketing techniques, entrepreneurship, and also wealth building, brand managing, building up your own brand. So he's a person, with his own enterprise, he's become a humongous personality. He has huge entrepreneurial skills, and we are going to talk to him about all that. So as he went along, he met a mentor, and his mantra in life became, look at your destination, and then you choose your vehicle. Dr. Sinha, he was the managing director and a co-group member of a performance marketing company which was instrumental in a multi-million dollar acquisition in the Silicon Valley in 2015. And then for 3 years in a row, he was amongst the top 1% earners in the country. He and his wife Divya, she is herself an HR professional. They started an education portal for business, www.StartupFrat business education community, and it has more than 25,000 members. It has many portals under the flagship portal, and we are going to speak to Dr. Sinha to give us a lot more insight into all this. So, sir, thank you so much for coming, and once again, we welcome you to our show. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. I have heard so much about IAI3, and I was able to, yesterday after your contact, I was able to go and just look at other industry stalwarts who have been on your platform. So really very lucky, very fortunate to be rubbing shoulders, with people of that stature also. And then other people who have already worked with you, like Mr. Sandeep, who is also a common connection. I've heard so much about you, the work that you have done. That is truly great pleasure, like I said earlier, and great privilege to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A lot of guidance from our president has also come in. And so when you started your life's trajectory, you are a medical doctor and you had passed and qualified for getting your education done in one of India's leading medical colleges. So what was that one moment, sir, that you suddenly decided that I want something more rewarding from life? I want to change all this. I'm not happy in this groove that I've got myself into. So please, could you share that one moment that made you change your thinking, sir?
Yes, absolutely. Now, before we proceed, I'd just like to be very upfront and honest that I have, I saw some lot of good stalwart interviews. So I didn't want to mess up this opportunity. So I got little notes. So if I look down, I'll probably reading my notes. So please allow that.
I may do the same thing, sir.
So I just want to keep it very focused. So first of all, there are a lot of varied people that the IAI3 platform is attracting. I just want to be very sure that the right people know who this is for, so that they can also gain from it. So if we have college students who don't want to follow the same old rigmarole of college placements, then probably my story will resonate with them. If you have ever been a corporate employee who finds that the job is not really taking the best out of you, and also just kind of taking care of your ambitions, then this could be for you. I have been into commission sales and sales professions or entrepreneurship. If you feel that you're stuck and unable to grow business because of market conditions or whatever, then probably my story will resonate. And most of all, in our community, we have lots and lots of retirees, people who have so much experience, people who have reached a stage where they feel sometimes that the economy does not need my skills, because after 60, 65, whatever, they say, oh, now you retire. And, if you've been sharing your message, the only audience you have is like your grandchildren or something, and they may not be that open because they are now more getting their education from YouTube, and you feel that there's so much that you have in your experience that is to be shared, then whatever I'm saying today may resonate with you. So my story is very simple. I grew up in an educated middle class family where last many generation had followed only one formula, which is you go to school, study hard, give one competitive exam, get a government job, work for your pension. Once you qualify for your pension after 20 years of service, life is good. So literally I did the same. Everybody in my family is a class 1 government officer. I gave medical entrance exam because I was interested in becoming a doctor. And then I qualified. First of all, I was very good at studies. So because the family, they're like, you have to be good at studies. So I got All India 49th rank in All India in the medical entrance. I've also done CBSE. I've topped physics and chemistry. So I was good at all this. Everything I'm going to say later may probably, just change that image. So I was good at all this. I got All India 49th rank and qualified for MBBS seat in India's number 2 ranked medical college called Armed Forces Medical College. And that college has 100% college placement, which means everybody who passes out gets the medical degree. You go and become a class 1 government medical officer, and pretty much life is good. And then, of course, hard work is involved in every medical, job. Hard work, a lot of hard work. But your retirement is safe, and you retire with a good pension and everything. So all of that I had already qualified for. But somewhere down during my college days only, I realized that I'm going to be living like the same life that like people two generations, 3 generations, 4 generations of my family have already lived. And so I said, hey, I probably want to try something different. What is there outside? And at that point, I met a mentor. I was very, very confused. And, a lot of people said, hey, don't think about these thoughts because you spent your whole life, qualifying for this college. Very, very, it's very difficult and very, very privileged kind of environment over there. So, so I was very confused. I said, how do I give all this up? Like, how can I think outside the box? So I met a mentor who taught me 3 things, and these 3 things are very important because at the end of the day, everybody wants first goal should be survival. I have to earn, some money to kind of sustain myself and my family. And after that, we can think about ambition and making an impact and all of that stuff, right? So the first thing is survival. So the first thing is cash flow. How do you get cash flow? So my mentor taught me that all the money in the world comes from one place only, and that is somebody else's pocket. First shortcut. Okay. First. Second thing, all you got to do is find out what will make them take the money out of their pocket and put in your pocket. Second, that's lesson number 2. And lesson number 3, if you're able to do that, then you go out and find more and more of these people and just build, like a big source of constant income for yourself. Whether you do it in business, whether you do it as a professional, you're a doctor, lawyer, chartered accountant, whether you do it as a commission salesperson, which is an insurance salesperson, real estate broker, network marketing. There are many such different, professions available today that were not available earlier. Whatever field you follow, remember, all the money in the world is going to come from somebody else's pocket. You got to give them a good reason to take it from their pocket, put it in your pocket. And the third thing is spend all the rest of your time figuring out where to find more and more of these people. Now, I would not recommend anybody, if you're a college student, to give up your education. So I have a medical degree, very proud of that. And I have not practiced for more than 12-15 years. In many forums, I don't even use the word Dr. Saab ahead of my name because I haven't made the same contributions to the society that some of my friends and classmates have made. However, before doing anything, just complete your education and don't think in 2 ways about it. Yes. So now, once that is out of the way, the 3 little secrets are, first, you don't need any formal education to do any of the 3 things that I just told you. Okay, so the degree is irrelevant. A lot of people think because I'm an engineer, I have to find my financial future in engineering. Not the case. Yeah. A lot of people may think I am an architect, so I have to find my financial future in architecture. I'm a BA, I'm a BCom. Get the degree. It's a great thing to have, just like it's a great thing to have good health. Okay, Get the degree. It's a great thing to have, but you don't need any formal education to do the 3 things I told you. Number 1, that's secret number 1. Secret number 2, this is everything that my mentor taught me when I was like 19, 20 years of age. Nobody will ask your qualifications if you get good at asking for money, getting money from somebody else's pocket into your pocket for a good enough reason. Nobody cares about these things. Third, richest people in the world have become rich by doing exactly those 3 things that I just told you. So those are the 3 secrets. So once I had learned that, then I said, okay, I need to do different things. I actually you first completed my degree. Then I worked in a government hospital. So I gave up the army placement, and there was a army bond, which means they had given me free education. It's all 100% scholarship. So I had to pay back for it. If you don't want to serve the country by, going into army service, then all this education that the country has given you at zero cost, it's all 100% scholarship. Not 1 rupee has to be spent.
Yes.
So then I had to pay back for that education. So my parents spent some money doing that. And then I worked in a government hospital in Talegaon General Hospital, which is very close to Pune. And I did all of that while looking for other options, while using the secrets that my mentor had taught me to branch out into other areas. So that's pretty much the story.
It's interesting and it's amazing, really. So you had mentioned that you had to pick up 3 skills, and that was sales, marketing, and digitization. And also, you had said that every 7 to 10 years, one needs to upgrade, retool, repackage, discard, replace, and have a review of all the techniques one is using in doing business. Could you please give us some insights on that, please?
So yes, so the 3 things that are very, very important are obviously, it's called sales, marketing, and product structuring, which is how you present what you do, and how much you charge for it. It's called product structuring. So let me just go back to the 3 secrets. All the money in the world comes from somebody else's pocket. Second, you got to find out what they're willing to pay for and either create that or supply that. You don't need to create in all cases, because there's so many products in the market. You can just find the product and supply it. Okay, that's the second secret. Third, you got to find out more and more of these people that keep willing to pay you again and again. Now, number 2 and number 3 keep changing in the market. The market is very dynamic, right? So what are people willing to pay for changes over the course of years. You will find there are certain services like, like cell phones. It was very, very expensive earlier. You had to pay 15 rupees per outgoing call or something. And today it's like next to nothing. So the demand and supply situation for different products will change over the years. And these cycles occur in 7 to 10 year cycles. Okay. Similarly, the people who are willing to buy and consume these services, who are willing to pay you, also over a period of time changes every 7 to 10 years. So the economic market works in 7 to 10 year cycles. They're not very accurate. They're, but if you will see that, your entire life, you had periods of growth, periods of stagnation, periods of growth, periods of stagnation. Economy gets periods of growth, periods of stagnation. And that happens in 7 to 10 year cycles. Now, if you can manage to upskill or retool, I call it retool. Upskill means, okay, I'm an HR manager, now I get 2 more degrees in HR, become HR director. Or I'm MBBS doctor, I get, specialization, super specialization. First I become surgeon, then I become GI surgeon or something. That is upskilling. Retooling is how do you utilize the learnings from one market and to go into another market. Okay, that's thinking 180 degrees, thinking, totally out of the box. If you can manage to retool every 7 to 10 years, you will be immune from all the ravages of the market. A lot of people say, I invested money into real estate when it was growing, but then real estate came down. Now my money is stuck in property, and I've got all my retirement savings stuck in some property or something like that. Right? So these problems will not occur to you if you know how to retool in time. That's number 1. Number 2, if you can foresee the cycle changes, then you will always be ahead. Okay. And these are not very highly, you don't need many degrees. I just need to follow, even on YouTube, I just follow like Warren Buffett and all. They keep telling in advance that the cycle is going to change. And these are the things that are going to happen, right? A lot of good Indian industries, they predict the cycles and they tell you. So if you keep your eyes and ears open, you can foresee the cycle changes. You'll always be ahead. And the third thing is, if you can develop a speed of execution that puts you ahead of the pain, you will almost never fail, which is once the market is turning, at that point, making a change, once you're thirsty, at that point, going to dig a well is very painful. However, if you develop speed of execution, if you do it beforehand, or even if you do it during, then you will almost never fail. So with my own story, I have a marketing consulting business with corporate clients. And I had been thinking that this 7 to 10 year cycle, I'd made my fortunes first in the 2008 downturn because I became part of a company that later went on to become have a Silicon Valley acquisition. So I knew I'd learned the lesson that in a downturn, there are always opportunities. I'd been looking for other opportunities, but not finding. Now what happened was the 2020 lockdown happened. I had been preparing for that by learning a lot of online skills. Which I'm very technically illiterate, but I learned like a little bit of how to make videos, like how you can put a video on a web page, like how do you set up a web page, how do you get a domain name, just little things. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I had spent a lot of money learning these things, and these skills were useless to me because I'd not made 1 rupee from these skills till then.
Yes.
But in the middle of the lockdown, when some of my clients said, okay, for the next 5 weeks, we're not going to be available, 6 weeks, we're not going to be available, I realized that the physical market is going to undergo a main shift. A lot of people who are dependent on the physical market in my consulting service, my commitment to my client was, wherever you are in the world, if you're in France, wherever you are, like I have some clients from abroad and all.
Yes.
If you tell me on Friday that you have to come to meet me on Monday, I will take a flight whichever country you are, I'll be there on Monday, right? So that was my value proposition. Now that is going to change, I realized, and I said, as long as this lockdown is there, I need to do something. So it was in a period of pain, but I had to outwork and just utilize some of the skills that I'd been preparing for. And then I had to outwork and just build an online presence at that point. So that really helped. So that is also some of the recent learnings from my story, but those are the 3 things. So retool every 7 to 10 years, try to foresee cycle changes, and then develop speed of execution that will help you dig your way out of any hole that the economy will put you in. And economy is guaranteed to put you in some holes over a 30-40 year career, right?
Yes.
So
these are very meaningful guidelines, sir. And then, so please tell us about that experience when you were an MD and a core group member, and you were instrumental in this acquisition, multi-million-dollar acquisition in the Silicon Valley. Please tell us, how did it get forward? How did it execute itself with your guidance? And you were at the helm at that time.
Yes. So I think basically in every market, you must have read this in many business books. I personally have not done any MBA, but I read a lot of books that I find on Amazon. I just read everything. And a lot of good business readers give out very good advice that I imbibe. Almost in every business book, you will see that it is the who that is more important than the how. So how much you're networking, who do you know? All of this stuff is relatively more useful than how to do things, whether you have a scale or don't have a scale or whatever. Most business people are really college dropouts. Like you see top business people, many business people are college dropouts. So the skill is not there, but then networking is very strong. So they know who is going to buy my product, like who has your money, who's going to pay you the money. So networking and knowing the who. Now, when I started, when I quit my, basically, I chose to do something part-time. The business was not working. So I chose to quit my hospital job. And then I went full-time into commission selling. And commission selling means I've sold home loan refinance over the phone, like those people who call you, they say, how much is your home loan? So I've done that. I have done market research over the phone. I have done, then what happened was I got offered to, from a US CEO who was trying to build his company across 3 countries, which is US, India, and Philippines. And he said that you're the right guy based on some that we had met and everything. And I will give you stock options in my company if you are able to help me build it in the India market. And, after 8 years of working together, so because of this technology that was there called VoIP, which is voice over the internet, you could call anybody in America and it would cost you like less than a local call in India, right? So this voice over the internet, today we are talking over Zoom, which is video over the internet. But in those times, voice over the internet was something new. And there were a lot of like these BPOs that were opening up, right?
Yes.
And how do BPOs work is somebody who wants to make an airline reservation, if they make a call, a US person doesn't need to answer the call. Somebody in India, Vietnam, Philippines can answer the call.
Yes.
And it's very cheap to run that call. Instead of landing that call in America, run it in India, and the cheaper resource will take care of your problem, which is a minor problem, ticket booking, ticket rescheduling, etc. Now, in our case, we went into market research, which is we were out calling into American businesses and asking them questions which would lead my client to be able to sell them a $20,000 product or $100,000 product. So the ticket size was much bigger. The technology was the same, VoIP, right? So now when we started doing market research, when I started building out the team for America,
Yes.
over 8 years, we realized that there are only certain number of limited people in America who take decisions on every $100,000 purchase in the technology industry. So every person who has the decision to spend $100,000 on software or software services, there are limited number of people. There are few lakhs of these people out of 30 crore of US population. And by that time, we had 1,600 employees. We had made so many calls into so many companies over 8 years, with every single person making 100 plus calls a day. And that's how I had started. So I taught it to like 1,600 employees, that we knew everybody that there was to call in America. And we had a good database of these people. And not only that, we had them on our email system. So if we would send out email, they would open our email and read it. So the ability to contact just the right person for just the right thing, for an opportunity that could be worth $100,000, or in certain cases, millions of dollars, because some software deals also go into millions of dollars. We could get any client fastest to the market than anybody else in the world. And, so we knew everybody who's the who. We knew everything that they want to spend on because they were opening our email. So we would pretty much figure out what they're interested in. And then we were calling and emailing them all the time on behalf of our clients. So then a bigger company who was also our client, they said, I want this database. I want to have access. I want to have your calling capabilities. We had people calling out from India and Philippines all the time, 24 hours a day, into every country of the world. And they said, we want to have it. And then they bought our company. And as per my CEO's promise, I had stock in that company, stock options in the company. So, that was also the reason for my early retirement. At 34 years of age, I was able to build my retirement corpus. So
it's brilliant, to get this out of the box idea of to get through to people on the phone. And also the tenacity to hang in there for 8 years. That was amazing.
A lot of long hours for 8 long years. Yes.
That's right. There is no substitute for hard work.
For sure.
And so now you've started this business education community, www.StartupFrat. And forwards, it has many different types of teachings, like the club, the hangout, the whitelist, the academy. So it has got more than 25,000 members, and you have an outreach to, as you were saying, many more people.
Yep.
And this brilliant idea, when did it originate and how did it transform into such a huge forum? Please tell us.
So right in the middle of the lockdown, basically, I realized that the internet is going to play a very big role, because everybody was by that time working from home in the middle of the lockdown. And I realized that a lot of people are also looking for answers from the economy, right? So if you're a travel agent and you're constantly having to shut your business because there is a second wave, third wave, whatever, then it's not fair to you. If you're a restaurant owner, it's not fair to you. I have many friends who are restaurant owners, and they're really lost. In my business also, my clients went off for 4-5 weeks, so it was not appropriate for me to keep billing them. So I gave them discounts and billing and things like that. So I technically also financially lost a little bit. But I realized a lot of people are looking for answers. And the Indian market, so everything that I'm going to say over here is more relevant to Indian market. That the India market is way behind when it comes to business. I would say like marketing mentality. So in the India market, because if you see the graph of the economy, and I'll just see if I can like quickly share it in like 1 second. If I can find it, that's great. So if you see the graph of the Indian economy, what happens is that the graph has constantly been on an upswing from 1974 to 2018. Okay, so let me see if I can share this. And I found this later, right? I found this later. It's just the thought came to me. I went to the internet and checked. If you see the decadal growth rate of the Indian economy, right from 1974 to 2000 and almost 2018, the economy has always grown. The economy has always grown. So Indian businesses typically follow something called a supply driven model, or a reputation, or it's called display driven model for marketing their products and services, which basically means what? That if I have a shop, I'm just going to sit at the shop for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and customers are going to come. right? That's because the
Yes,
economy is the economy is constantly growing. The customers constantly demand is constantly growing.
Yes.
Even in the 1970s, 80s, what were businessmen, small businessmen doing? They were like, the demand for high quality clothes is increasing. Let me go to Thailand, buy a batch of high quality clothes at cheap prices, bring it to India, somehow get it over, pay some custom duty a little bit, and then sell it in India at slightly higher prices because they're higher quality clothes.
Yes, yes.
So it's a supply driven, which means the demand is already there. All I have to do is figure out the supply, like how to supply them, right?
Absolutely.
So now after the lockdown, actually the market was already tanking before 2020, 2018 to 2019, 20, a lot of IT companies, my clients, etc., they were losing revenue. So I knew a little bit of this. So the model that they follow in a mature economy, what's a mature economy? The demand is not increasing 15% year on year. The demand is flat, and you have to constantly evolve the product and the marketing to constantly grab customer attention. Now, this is called a demand generation model, which nobody follows in India. And even if they know about it intellectually, they don't follow it as their company DNA. Now, what is demand generation model is, I am going to go out and make customers know about me. I'm going to plug them into my, into my knowledge stream, or you can say education stream or whatever. I'm going to be constantly in front of them, so that whenever they do decide to buy, I am the de facto company of choice. So I'm not going to sit on my haunches in my shop and wait that, people are going to drive by and they're going to come to my shop. That is not going to work anymore.
Yes. There's a lot of visibility. People should know what the product is and come and look at it and buy it.
Yes. Now, let me take the topic back to our mutual interest, because both of us are educators. Yes. Is that a lot of people complain that the learning system or the education system in India is outdated. A lot of people, you'll see that on the internet, people keep saying that.
Yes.
Well, my answer to that is that learning is always going to be outdated, which is the formal learning systems are always going to be outdated, because to retool a learning system, it takes 20 years. But for the economy to turn, it takes only 20 days, right? So, so our economy changes in 20 days. Like, the petrol prices, within a space of 2 days, petrol went from like 80 rupees a liter to 110 a liter.
Yes, maybe because of the war. Is that right? Because
yes.
of the Ukraine war, the
yes.
went up in the fuel.
Yeah. So economy is changing every 2 days or 20 days, but to retool a learning system, it takes 20 years. You cannot retool a learning system very fast.
True. That's true.
So learning systems will always be outdated, especially the more formal they are, the more they're going to be cumbersome. It's going to be very difficult. So it is not fair to say that education is outdated in India. I don't think it is fair to say, which is why I say you get your degree, but later you may or may not need to use it. That's a separate thing, but do get your degree and everything. Now, the product requires a lot of consumer attention or a consumer education, which means consumers need to be tuned to your product at all times, right? And third is, you want to leave a legacy where you're embodied learning. This is meant for individuals. Like, everybody knows something today. If you're in a job, you know something that other people don't know. If you're a corporate professional or a certified professional, you know something that other people don't know. If you're a student, probably you have some hobbies or you've done some hacks that other people don't know. If you're a retiree, you know something that other people don't know. So it is your responsibility today. That the mature learning system cannot be retooled, but it is your responsibility today to package your learning and give it out into the world so that other people can gain from it. In the bargain, your brand visibility enhances and more people come to know about you, and a certain percentage of those people will treat you as a de facto person of choice when they need to buy a paid product or a paid service. So that is where StartupFrat comes in. I basically went, in the middle of the lockdown, I had nothing to do. Clients are all off. Now, either I can just stay tuned to WhatsApp and keep reading like how many people COVID has affected every day. It's like depressing information. In return, what I did was I just took my cell phone. I just put it on a stand, and I started making videos every day saying, this is how businesses who are going to be hurt by COVID can improve themselves, can lessen the hurt, or can actually come up on top, right? And I started pushing these videos into a Facebook group, right? So free, everything I'm telling you is free to do. It just requires like consistency. So you take your cell phone, put it on this thing and speak what you know. That's it. Okay. And then you put it up on Facebook. You can do it private group, because in my community, a lot of people ask me business related problems. So my group is private, which means you have to apply to access, and everything we do in the group is not really visible outside. A lot of people ask sensitive questions about their business and things like that. Okay, but you can do it in a public Facebook group where people can apply to join the group, and then you can give this learning out to people, and a lot of people will gain from it. Certain percentage of those people will also do business because they will treat you like an authority. Okay, and it's your duty to package your information. It's your duty to find the people who need this information. And I would also say that it's your duty to build a monetization model where you can offer some paid products and services to people, so that the money you earn from this can go back to fueling your movement. Okay, and so like, what were the things that I had learned that I gave away in my free Facebook videos, which I still give away? I'll give you some resources towards the end of this talk, where you can find some free information, free help, in business, in marketing, in career building. So I had learned to sell cold in person, cold, which is call somebody and just do home loan refinance selling, call somebody, sell some software. I had learned how to sell over the phone. I'd learned how to sell in mass over email, because in our company that later became a Silicon Valley acquisition, we were doing a lot of email marketing. I had learned how to build an organization or build sales teams, because that's what I was doing in my corporate career. I had also semi-retired, and I had also sold the information on how this could be done to my corporate clients, because I would use all of my knowledge. As consulting, you're basically selling your information. Okay. Now I realize that because of all of this, the economy is tanking. A lot of small businesses can use this information. I just don't have the time to spend one-on-one with anybody. So I just made videos, sent it into Facebook. I told anybody who wants to join, they can join. And then within a month, I had 3,000 followers. Within 6 months, I had 15,000 top followers. And today, after 2 years, we have 25,000 followers. And we are giving free education for the last 2 years. We have other specialized forums. I have something called a 6 a.m. club, where there are at least 40 other learned people that like me, and probably more learned than me, who are coming together and doing master classes from 6 to 6:45 a.m. every single day for last 1 year, 3 months. And all of this education is free for people who need it. So we are running these free education forums, and for anybody who needs it. So that is how the evolution of StartupFrat has come.
So you think that this is a good idea? That I had questions on a few topics, and right now there seem to be some people getting married on the road outside my house. So they're banging away on their coal tashas. So I'll just tell you the topics I wanted to ask you, and if you could tell us about them, and then I'll use from the side. So one was the lean startup environment. One was the different portals that you have, entrepreneurship, wealth building, brand building, and about you as a person. So please speak about these.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So the lean startup is basically, I had read a book earlier on many years ago. It's written by this gentleman called Eric Ries. And he says the way for normal middle-class people to get into business is not to invest lots of money, not to invest like crores of rupees, they build office, employees, factory, logistics, etc. Is first to test your business idea with paying customers as fast as possible. Even if you don't have a product, even if you don't have a product, you can still talk about the product. You can still showcase the product by creating a small graphic of the product on a free software called Canva. Today, we have all of these things. When the guy wrote the book, these things were not available. So, but today we have all these. There's a free tool called canva.com where you can create a small product graphic in 10 minutes. And you can start talking about this product, even if you've not built the product. And if you can find customer attention, then you know that it is viable to build the product. You can also take pre-booking, get some customers to pay for the product while the product is being built. So you never invest your own money, in building the product. So doing this lean startup model, a normal middle-class person or even a student can actually build a business, without investing crores of rupees and things like that. So whatever your product is going to do for a customer, however your product is going to improve your customer's life, this information about the product, even if the product does not exist today, this information can be transmitted via the internet to thousands of people. Okay, that's number one. And it's for free. Like for free, you can transmit it. I use Facebook as a business partnership, which means I pay Facebook to take my message to thousands of people. And I can cut short 10 years of marketing with probably 1 or 2,000 rupees spent on Facebook. So that's a separate topic. I won't talk about it today. But with either free or with very little money, you can send this message about your product or how your product can improve somebody's life to thousands of people, if not millions today. First. Second, these people don't have to pay you. Just give them the option of showing some interest by joining you in your group, which is very simple. One click, they are there in your group. It is free for them and it is free for you, which means they don't have to pay anything to follow you. And you don't have to pay anything to anybody to be able to communicate with them again and again, which you have to do via the phone. You have to have a person to call. You're spending man hours to call people, or you're putting ads on newspaper, whatever. You don't need to do any of that. A Facebook group you can use to communicate every single day with thousands of people, for free. Okay. Third thing is, don't worry about the fact that you don't have experience. Don't worry about the fact that you don't have a name in the market or you don't have a brand in the market, because like I said, Facebook is not paying me to do any of this free promo for them, but I use Facebook because Facebook works. The name of the platform is Facebook, which means the algorithm is built to find other people who are going to resonate with you based on what you say, especially on video. So make sure that you do some video and put your name and face out there. And Facebook will find other people who will resonate with you. Now, the way the algorithm works is people go on Facebook to find other people to resonate with. That is the mentality of people on Facebook. So Facebook will show your message to people who are going to resonate with you. They will not resonate with, Dhirubhai Ambani. They will not resonate with Sachin Tendulkar or Hema Malini or whatever. They will resonate with you because you are a human person who's talking about a human problem that can help them. So people are very, very interested in getting help from a person who can actually help them, who is not a big person, who's not a celebrity, because a lot of people get scared by working with big companies, right? But they're happy to work with, other people. Now, if you want to potentiate it for a small initial fee, you can obviously pay Facebook and you can just expand this reach throughout India in a matter of hours. In a matter of 4 to 6 hours, your message will go all over India for a small fee. Everybody can afford it. I have college students in my group who do this, on their pocket money. Now, once that is done, you build a relationship with those people by giving them, free information, free value, showing up daily, turn your movement into a business organization, because over a period of time, people will say, I want to have what you have to offer. And then you can start charging, you can create a free e-shop and things like that. Okay. Now, if you don't have a product, that is not important. If you don't know how to build a product, that is not important. There are millions of products already existing in the marketplace. Everything that had to be built has been built. So what you can do is you can take a stock product, which we in internet world, we call it affiliate marketing, but I don't want to go into that geeky zone of, hey, do this, build a website. We don't do any of that. Long story short is every single product that is there in the market is already available. Okay. So all you have to do is create a program around the product by saying, let's just see, I bought this vitamin that is available everywhere, in the market. This vitamin is available everywhere in the market, but I bought it from a person who said, if you pay me 5,000 rupees, in 30 days, I'm going to help you solve a problem. That problem could be cholesterol. That problem could be hair loss. That problem could be wrinkles. That problem could be making money. That problem could be learning a skill like a guitar. That problem could be like learning World of Warcraft computer game, right? So people want to learn stuff and they want to improve their life and they're willing to pay you. Now, using this model, this lean startup model, which we did not create, I just read it in a book, and using this Facebook group, which is a free resource available, we have been able to have 60-plus-year-old retirees find their relevance and maximize their impact today after retirement. They have more impact on the world and community today than they had during their working years. We have been able to have people who have battled and overcome lifelong debilitating illnesses such as cancers and chronic depression. They are sharing their message and bringing their impact to hundreds of thousands of other people who need this information, but they don't want to go to a doctor. They don't want to deal with a pharmaceutical company. They don't want to do that, but they're happy to have somebody to help them over a Zoom call or something. We have had social organizations like NGOs and environment, protection agencies operate from a position of strength, because once your message goes out to hundreds of thousands of people, what you get, my friend, is strength. You get, your voice, your message becomes a movement. So we've been able to help these people, instead of going and asking for donations and things like that with an open palm, turn it into a movement and operate from a position of strength, operate from a position of power. we've been able to, so whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you think you can bring value to the world, it may have relation between, you know, what you have done in the past, or it may have to be something new that you don't know. Like in my case, I had to learn a lot of new digital skills during the lockdown because I was stuck in my house with the laptop and nothing else. So now I had to learn things like Zoom calls, which I had never learned before. I had to learn, you know, doing things like Facebook lives I never done before, right? So there are some new skills that you may develop. Those skills can also come in, benefit to somebody. And once you're able to send this message out, you will find people who will come to you and say that this is so important for me that I want to pay to have exclusive access to you. Like I had 3,000 people in my Facebook group, and there were almost 50 people who approached me who said, how can I get on a personal phone call with you? And I'm willing to pay for it. So for the very first time, I said, okay, for 2,700 rupees, I'll do 3 phone calls with you. I just did that. Like 50 people spent money to do that. Can you believe that? So I made like 1.5 lakh rupees sitting at home for people that they wanted to spend 30 minutes with me on a Zoom call. I was like amazed in the middle of the lockdown. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. Now we've been able to teach this to so many different people. All it requires is a resolve. You need to structure your whatever learning you have into a little bit of structuring is required, not very complicated. And if you wish, a little bit of cash injection will take your message to thousands of people. At an average today, for 6 or 8 rupees, Facebook will make sure that 1,000 of the right relevant people will listen to your message in 1 hour from now for $8. Now imagine if you were to put 100 rupees a day into Facebook, which is a budget of, let's say, 3,000 rupees a month. For every 8 rupees you spend, 1,000 people are watching you and seeing what you have to offer. That is very, very powerful. And they have the option to join you in your Facebook group, and you have the option to serve them for free starting tomorrow with 1 video every day that talks about their problem and how to solve it. And then you can just build this into a movement and into even a commercial enterprise. I highly recommend even NGOs to have a commercial arm which has paid products that people can buy, because this cash injection will help them, just fuel their movement, so that they don't always have to depend on cash injection with open arms and, go to people and, just be in a weak position. So I recommend that to all NGOs. We have many very, 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 very impactful NGO founders also in our community who are doing some very, very good work. We have environment protection people, like all of the good social stuff can also gain from it. The good commercial stuff can also gain from it. Retirees can gain from it. College students can gain from it. And everybody in the middle can gain from it. That is the concept of a lean startup. Okay. At this point, I think you had asked me earlier also, you have multiple different properties, like how can people find you and everything. I'll just share the quick couple of resources I have, which people can join later. The 2 best resources where the viewers can find free education is our 6 a.m. club live stream, which is startupfrat.club/6 a.m. club. There are free classes being held 18 days out of 30 every single month by industry leaders, that last from 6 o'clock to 6:45. You can watch them for free. Okay, so startupfrat.club/6 a.m. club. And then you have, if you want to consult any of these industry leaders, we have over 20 people, especially for this particular live stream. I've taken commitments from them that they're going to allot a certain number of hours of their time for anybody who wants to take free consultations with them or join them in their Facebook group to get free education. So startupfrat.club/community. You can just go to this forum. And I have taken, especially for the sake of, because IAI3, working with IAI3 is a great privilege to us. So I had asked yesterday, to some of our community members, and 20 people have committed. I'll just show you how it works. If you go to startupfrat.club/community, you will be able to find stalwarts in our community, people who are doing different things. People who are into coaching, people who are into healthcare, people who are founders of entire companies, people who have NGOs, and you can literally hit this button, which is consult with me, and you'll be able to book a free call with them. And I have taken commitments from 20 people, and each of them has said, okay, I'm willing to give 1 hour of my time to anybody who comes. I have 2 hours. Some people have committed 3 hours of their time. So whoever is the viewer, if you want to, get some, free, this thing, then you can do that. And then I think the third question was about entrepreneurship and wealth building that you asked.
Entrepreneurship and wealth building.
Okay.
And brand, building up a brand. So we'll be happy to hear about that. If you're willing to tell us about the basics.
Okay. Okay, let me just quickly just consult my notes here. Yes, so it's a big topic. So basically, entrepreneurship, wealth building, and brand building is a big topic. I don't try to just fool myself into believing that I know everything, but I'll just give you some pointers if that is beneficial. See, first thing is entrepreneurship and wealth building in today's world is not as much about creating new products as it is about creating just the right solution for just the right customer. Okay, just having the right personalized answer for every personalized question, because people also don't want to be treated like numbers and things like that. The number one cab company in the world does not own any cabs. Number one number one hotel company in the world doesn't have a single hotel room to their name. Can you believe that? So today we are living in a world that is oversupplied, and our name of the game should be to find the right customer, to understand their needs, and to collect and aggregate products and services that are already existing in the market, and be able to bring it to them in a format that they are ready to use, in a comfort zone where they're ready to trust a person who's bringing this product to them. So a lot of people, if you see, they may not buy the same product from the market unless like they have a neighbor who says, I'm using the same product. If you buy the same product or whatever, then I'll be able to help you use it. Yoga mats, like people don't buy yoga mats unless they know exactly, okay, which is the right brand, how much is the right thickness. Like, okay, are you using it? You find it, it's like a 300 rupee risk, but people don't want to take it with the wrong brand. They don't want to take it with the wrong product. They want to ask somebody. Okay, so it's an age of personalization and aggregation today. Second thing is, if you see restraints of how humans have evolved in tribes, but those tribes are breaking now, which basically means that as a culture we are becoming more and more open. So you can say that some people crib about it. They say, oh, our culture is being more westernized or something. It doesn't matter. We are all becoming more globalized. So the restraints of culture are opening up. Restraints of economy are opening up. A lot of people in India today work for foreign companies. That's why they're able to, draw fat salaries and things like that. Restraints of communication are opening up. You can have access to all the top learning in the world through YouTube. You can pick up your phone and on WhatsApp call anybody in the world for free. So restraints of communication are opening up. Restraints of association are falling off. You don't really need to believe in a certain thing in order to live in a certain area. You don't really need to believe in any one political ideology or be a part of any one religion, culture, society, or anything like that today. We are becoming more and more open. However, that also means that everybody today is trying to make sense of the world. If you see youngsters today, because they're not bound by culture, they're not bound by education, they're not bound by society, they're constantly trying to make sense of the world around them. So we are in a phase of rapid change, and there are different people, regardless of if you are the viewer, whatever you think, whatever you value you bring to the world, or whatever your unique perspective on the world, it will help somebody else make sense of the world around them, right? Make sense of the world around them. Now that is the value. We call this thing called the age of Aquarius. So if you see Maslow's hierarchy of needs, let me see if I have a graphic that I can quickly share without wasting a lot of the viewers' time. But we have something called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. And if you look at it, like we are living in the top layer of the pyramid today, it's an age of self-realization, which means all the old, needs of having to have a steady supply of income or food or respect or love or social balance, which is, you see a lot of people, we have much more respect for women today than we had 40 years back. We have much more respect for LGBT community. They're treated as equals. That did not happen earlier. People who are handicapped are now treated as equals and they have equal opportunity. It did not happen 40 years earlier. So we've transcended all of those layers of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We are living in the age of self-realization. And in the age of self-realization, we call it the age of Aquarius. You can simultaneously live a daytime life, which is your job or whatever you have to do for money. And you can also live a part-time life, which is a journaling life. A lot of people would sit in the evening and write journals, right? The grandparents, and a lot of these journals would later get published if they were an author or something like that. Or if they were a celebrity, their journals would get published. Today, you have the option of being the celebrity, and your journal is being published every single day. Every single day, a journal is being published. You just take your cell phone, make sense of the world around you, say it into the camera, put it out into the Facebook group or something like that, and it will help somebody. So we call it the age of Aquarius. How you view the world can be harnessed into a powerful magnetic movement. And that is the future for everybody. Okay, you can channel this into any commercial activity, you can channel this into a social activity, you can channel this into community building, or just regular like a social influence. You see a lot of social media influencers who have a lot of fan following, and they may not even have their own product. Like you have Gary Vaynerchuk, is the #1 social media influencer in the world. He doesn't have a product. He'll probably once in a year he'll say, I have these custom signed shoes, you can buy these shoes for $900, and people will buy these shoes, and he uses all that money to take his message across even further and impact even more people. So just social media influence. So that is the true nature of entrepreneurship. Okay, so we call it the age of Aquarius. We call it the lean startup in the age of Aquarius. And that's pretty much it. Now for brand building, we are not very complicated people at StartupFrat. We don't have the resources and we don't have the knowledge to have very complicated, photos and high definition, and it should look like this color and all this color psychology and color technology. We don't do it like that because none of our community members are very high tech or geeky or anything like that. So for us, a personal brand is very simple. A video message that will attract similar minded people, a business presence, which is not in your individual capacity, but you can have a business capacity. So you can have a Facebook group and you can set up a Facebook business presence for free on Facebook. I use Facebook. That's very simple to use. You can have two flows. One is a downstream flow, which is your view of the world that goes out to other people who become your community. Yeah, those are the community that you're helping. And you can have an upstream place where you need to have some mentorship, where you also belong. You feel that I belong, in that community because you may have some mentor or be joining some community. That's called an upstream place, where you have other like-minded people on the same journey as you, where you always feel at home. In your community, that is a downstream place. Your other community members always feel at home. In return for that, they may also have other impactful things that may be happening, they may be doing for other people. Okay. Now for sustaining this movement, you can have a little commercial arm that can pay for itself. And for sustaining your message, all you need to do is just give from your heart, give daily, and give copiously. And those like give heart from the heart, give daily, and give copiously. Those are the three secrets.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a really wonderful piece of advice, that be a human person,
Yeah.
Be kind-hearted, be nice. And so we would like to know, what is Dr. Sinha as a human being, as a person, and how do you spend your leisure time? How do you do things apart from the time when you're working?
As a lot of life has changed after the lockdown and everything, but the couple of things that I have is I read a lot. That has been my passion since childhood. And now in the age of YouTube, I have a YouTube premium subscription. If anybody over here in the viewers, you love watching YouTube, then I would recommend you get a YouTube premium subscription. It costs 120 rupees per month, and you don't have any ads or anything. And you have YouTube overlay, which means it plays over any other app that you may be using. So you may be WhatsApping, you may be using email, but if you're watching a video, the video will keep playing. So you constantly keep learning from it. So I have YouTube Premium. That is one of the great sources of information learning today. 129 rupees a month and access to all the top learning in the world. I read a lot. I spend some time in taking care of my my body. So I do go to the gym, I do some swimming and things like that. And then for hobbies, my hobby is traveling. I like to travel to nice places and, go to live in nice hotels also, and go to nice places, mainly visit the rest of the world, India as well, and rest of the world as well. And locally, I live in Pune. So Pune is very, very blessed to have like literally the maximum amount of nature's beautiful spots within drivable distance. So sometimes on the weekend we go to by lakeside or something like that, and we just decompress.
Rejuvenated,
Yeah.
fresh air.
Yeah.
So I think the people who were getting married and dancing on the streets, their followers have moved on, so we can at least move down the street. And so as a parting advice to our young viewers who are standing on the threshold of their careers, what would you like to tell them, sir?
So I think this is purely my own learnings. So that's what my message is. Like I said, I'm not like the world's biggest Gyani or anything, but there are certain things that have happened in my life again and again. So I follow the mantra that once is a signal and twice is a trend. So everything that happens once, if you act on it and if you see that it's leading somewhere, then twice is a trend, which means anything that happens twice means that's your go-to signal that you need to go for it. Having said that, I think that youngsters today are learning so much through the use of digital devices or through exposure or whatever,
yes,
that like I heard this once from Mr. Kunal Shah, who's the founder of PhonePe and also the founder of Cred. He's a big multimillionaire industrialist in India who really has a very good perspective on life. So I really follow him. And he said that youngsters today have much better pattern recognition because of whatever digital devices or exposure to YouTube or whatever, that by the very early age, they're developing a much better sense of the world than even their seniors or elders or parents or teachers may have. Okay. So I would recommend all the younger generation, and even if I'm 41, so even if you're 39, you are younger generation. So to be, something that I've written down, so I'll just read from my notes is number one, be bolder, just go for what you want in life, because the economy is shrinking and just sitting at the same place, playing it safe is the most risky thing you can do today. So be bolder. Second, you can live two lives in the same day. One is a life of survival. The second is a life of significance, which is the journaling life. You can impact somebody, try to do whatever you can to develop that presence today. So second. Third is always listen to your instincts. They are always right. Your instincts are connected to deeper meaning in the universe. So if you feel instinctively that you need to do something, it involves some risk, take the risk and do it. Because not taking a risk today is the biggest risk in today's market. Don't let others kill your dreams. Everybody's surrounded by friends, family, well-wishers, loved ones, but they don't understand the same message that you understand. They may have something else going on in their mind.
That's true, according to their own experiences.
Yeah. So they may not be the best people to share, share. And then if they have some other feedback, don't listen to that feedback. Like a lot of my well-wishers, they had great feedback for me when I said I don't want to continue with my medical career.
Yes.
And their advice was the right advice. Very few people, only less than 1% of 1% people in the world find their way into India's #2 medical college, find a government class 1 officer job which gives them a retirement option. Very few people do that. Why would you risk it? Why would you throw it away? That's great advice, but it was not right for me. So
yeah, that's right. It works differently for different people.
Yeah. Sure. So take your own decisions. Don't let others kill your dreams. Then the next is solve the one big problem that makes all other problems irrelevant. Okay. Solve the one big problem that makes all other problems irrelevant, and then go for it. And you cannot lose. I can guarantee you that, because even in our academy community, we have 400 plus students. Almost nobody has ever come to me and said that I regret the time that I took that risk.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's amazing. It's really wonderful to hear that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So this session, it was so. Yes, is there anything else?
Before we continue, because we are also coming to the end of our time slot, I would just like to remind everybody, if you want to get free education, advice, or anything, if you want to have a listening ear from somebody who may be from a profile that you may resonate with, then just head over to startupfrat.club/community. And if you can work one-on-one with any of these people, it's all free, no payment is required. And if you want to follow our classes live every single day, you can go to startupfrat.club/club. It's all free, no payment is required. And we have been doing it for now 1-2 years. And it's very, very rewarding for us. It's beneficial for other people also.
Huge enterprise in social work. That's amazing. And Dr. Sinha, it was a very rewarding and insightful talk that we had. And especially the fact that there should be fearless entrepreneurs. They should trust their instincts and be bold and go for it. This is not a world to be, just sit back and be shy and wonder if things are going to work out. You have to take that one step, walk that extra mile. So thank you so much. You're even advising people to be a little bit more dynamic. Yes. And it was truly very educative also. It was beautiful. So many things we don't really know because we haven't experienced so much of digital life. But thank you, and amazing. All that great insights and teachings on business. It was so nice that you came and shared with us.
Thank you for having us on your platform. And it is truly, truly a privilege. I'm going to be in touch with IAI3. I think we can gain a lot from our association, because you are doing so much, you're doing so well, and your span is so big, like you have all the industry who's who. So I don't want to lose this association. I'm going to be very, very selfish and be, going to call you, probably message you a lot and be in touch, because I really want to rub shoulders with the who's who of industry that you have already, harnessed into so much of good stuff that you're doing. So I really want to be part of that.
So we'll be blessed if you please join with us with our AI3, and we can collaborate and work together for some common good. That will be amazing.
Yes.
Really, thank you so much for coming. It was so enjoyable also, the whole session.
Thank you so much.
Very
Thank you
well
so much.
explained in detail. It was really, truly very, very beautiful. Thanks a lot, Dr. Sinha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hope to have you on our show many, many times.
Absolutely will always be ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.